I have a bar consulting business. So my business partner and I do cocktail programs, training programs, and implementation of systems, restaurants, hotels.
Bar. I thought you were thinking bar like the ballet bar. Okay, I'm here.
Yeah.
We're good.
No, bar like, yeah.
Not
You
that
just-
for this.
Okay.
Yeah. So we kind of came to the realization after being here for the last 2 days, we're trying to decide whether to go with the sort of volume play where it's like a $20,000 offer, where we do like a basic 12 cocktail menu, 4-day implementation, which may or may not have some like ARR associated with it, like ongoing monthly, or go up market and go after the big guys. So we work with like Capital One, Virgin Voyages, these huge guys, but it's bespoke. So in my mind, more difficult to scale, hire for, trying to figure out which way we should go.
Which one do you do now?
We do both.
Like split.
Like from revenue standpoint, more or less 50-50. From like number of clients, like 20% white glove, which is what we call it, and then the remainder is the lower tier offer.
How much of your staff would you say is on the white glove versus the lower level?
2 versus 3.
Like which one?
2 for the white glove, but I'm a founder and kind of still working with our white glove clients because we kind of brought those on.
Yeah.
And then two full-time consultants and an admin for the day-to-day sort of basics.
Want me to take that?
I was asking, but
No, say what you're gonna say.
I mean, I was gonna say which one. So okay, so I think sometimes the question is like, we think about like, well, what's more scalable? But I think both of us come back to the same thing very often, which is like, how do we scale what is unscalable? And so if your best customers, and this is like, I would be thinking about this, which is like, which ones are easier for me to find, easier to retain, and then probably harder to fulfill,
Yeah.
right? Easier to find, easier to retain, but they're harder to fulfill. That's usually what's unscalable, right? And then people are like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna be doing this forever? And it's like, you won't be doing it forever. We will figure it out eventually. But like, there are ways to scale what is quote unscalable. And so I think a lot of times when people want to go down market, it's usually because that feels hard to do because you're in it right now, or like somebody who's very talented. And it's like, well, how would we do that? And I think that kind of goes back to like the unicorn and a few other things that we talk about when it comes to key man risk. I'm a fan of doing what is unscalable, you know, like, and figuring out how to scale that because I think that's where the best companies are created. And so I like the thought of if those customers that are the white glove are easier to find, easier to retain, and maybe
Probably have higher margins, I would imagine,
correct,
on those
higher
ones.
margins.
Yeah.
Or wait, you looked hesitant.
Well, it's a longer lifetime value for sure because we work on like 3-year contracts, 2-year contracts with them. It definitely takes more man hours to service them.
Yeah.
But the gross margins are higher, correct?
Yeah, ultimately, yeah, because they go on these like expensive retainers, which
Yeah.
the lower value ones can't do.
Yeah.
But they're very difficult to find. Like in 4 years, we have 4.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, but you have a reliable acquisition system for the smaller ones, correct?
I wouldn't call it reliable.
How do
More-
you find each of them?
So for the first 3 years we were in business, we did affiliate, referral, networking, personal contacts. When we outgrew that because of the size of our team, we started moving into more paid ads. Paid ads has done okay, did really well at the beginning of the year, did terrible during the summer. I think that was largely because of the agency we chose. And so now we're kind of like, which channel do we focus on? But I think first we need to figure out which avatar do we go after.
I would say go where you're getting customers.
Okay.
Because like if we say, like, I think, okay, what do you do after this conversation? So if we were to say, like, we play it out. So let's say you did the white glove. It's like, okay, now what do you do? It's like, okay, now we just wait. It's like, that's not good.
Right.
And so you have to have, there has to be a core activity that we can draw this to. I think we were talking yesterday about how you do events, right? And it's like, okay, well, it seems like it's haphazard sometimes when you get these things, but it's like, well, every event I go to, I get 10 contacts. From those 10 contacts, I close 2. And it's like, okay, well then how do I do? And like a good friend of ours is in the real estate industry, and he's for brokers, and he figured out that equation, and so he's doing 66 events in Q4. 66
Jesus.
on his own, flying out, and they're going to do 1.2 billion. But he he 5x'd the market cap in 24 months by working his ass off.
Right.
And so I'm bringing this up to say, like, if you had one thing that you found those 4 from, which felt haphazard, it's usually like things feel volatile when volume is too low.
Yeah.
And so people are like, I'm making content, but it's really like, I only get a customer every week or so that, comes from it. It's like, right, you get it. It's for every 7 pieces of content, you get 1 customer. So it's like, we do 450 per week, and so that's why we get more than you.
Right.
I'm only trying to say is like, if you can narrow it down to the activity, then it's like you probably just need to do 10 or 100 times more of that one activity. And so we both like the white glove one better. That
Okay.
customer is better. That business that has a retainer with enterprise customers is more valuable.
Sure.
So if
Find them.
right, if you can't find them, then yeah, go run ads and get better at that and expand it. But the 201 play is, how do I zero in on that? What events are they going to? What networking things? And then it's just like, you probably just need to do 100 events to
Right.
go get 15 of those a year, and then all of a sudden your business blows up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you're a business owner and you are not growing as fast as you'd like, I'd like to give you a free gift. So my team and I put together the $100 million scaling roadmap, which is basically 200 hours of us looking over all the portfolio companies we've had and what stages of growth they went through, and more importantly, where they got stuck and how they got past it. And so we broke it into these 10 stages, and we made this little kind of quiz thing where if you put in your business information, it'll tell you where you're at, and the most important part for you, what to do for each of the functions of the business across product, marketing, sales, customer success, recruiting, IT, human resources, and finance. And so no matter what you're struggling with, someone else has already struggled with it and solved it. And so I'd like to give you this thing absolutely free. You can go to acquisition.com/roadmap, plug in your business information. And if you want us to actually help you deconstrain the business and you're trying to scale, we'd love to help you out. On the thank you page, you can just book a call with my team, and we will look at the business, see if we can help. And if we can, we'll invite you out to Vegas, and we'll do this in person live.